Hey guys, we're here from live from Mobility Field Day 7, right? So we just wanted to talk about the Ruckus presentation in this little video. They presented on a whole bunch of different things. It was their first time in a few years actually. Their logo evolved twice since the last time they presented. So
yeah, they became a more confident dog.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll see if you can teach a old dog new tricks here.
I guess. And then in the meantime, they became acquired by Comscope. So it was interesting. They presented they had different presentations on different topics. So it was interesting to hear from them and to learn about their solution, which is quite unknown, I would say, from the industry.
I don't know if they're like unknown. I think people have questions around Ruckus and how you compare Ruckus to their competitors. Mm-hmm. But I think it's because Ruckus has such a big presence in like hotel chains, MDUs, hospitals. Yeah. So that we see them there, and so I think this is where we start to see what they've been working on that helps with large scale deployments. Mm-hmm.
And one of the first actually presentation and feature they talked about was the dynamic preshared key and the network segmentation. I think that's how they called it, which was the ability to have just one SSID if you have like a multi-tenancy building, and then have each family had their own password to connect to the Wi-Fi, and then they could segment the network using that dynamic preshared key.
Yeah, so that single key, even to obtain the key, there was a portal in which somebody could acquire that key.
The user even.
Yeah, the user can do this themselves and then be able to provide like a guest key for people who are visiting. Yeah. And even if they have their own key, they're on their own network. They don't see other devices. And even better, if you roam to another access point, say you're in your dorm, you have your own preshared key, you walk to another dorm, maybe on another floor, you can still use that same unique key. And then if you needed to print something, you can print it to your own printer, which is on another AP.
Yeah, it's pretty nice solution. You can think about student dorm, like you said. You know, you have, let's say you have your TV with your Chromecast built in. When you connect your TV and your phone to the same network using the same key, then on your phone you'll only be able to streamcast on your TV, not the neighbor's TV. Right. Which is super nice to be able to segment the network with just having one SSID, which makes it easier for the administrator, but also easier for the users to just connect to the Wi-Fi, just one network.
Yeah, and they talked about also properties managing units. Mm-hmm. And when people come and go, you're able to create these accounts for people and then automatically assign that key to someone, email it to them, and they now have access. And so what I liked about their interface is that when people manage this portal or access, these are not really technical people doing it. Yeah. It could be a lobby person.
The front desk agent.
Front desk. So the interface was super simple and the language was exact, to the point where you're not questioning, am I going to do this wrong? What does this even mean?
Yeah.
So,
and they generate a QR code, so you can just take a picture of the QR code and you connect it to the network. So
yeah, exactly. And what is something that we did here at Tech Field Day.
Yeah,
there was a little QR code for us. You scan it with your phone, your phone, and then you connect to the Wi-Fi network.
Oh, that's why I lost all of my Bitcoins. I was wondering.
Could be dangerous with a QR code, but super convenient. Yeah. So what else did they talk about?
They talked about IoT.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm not very big in IoT because it's not a space I normally work in. But I was really surprised to see how extensive the IoT platform is from Ruckus.
Yes, and they actually integrate different technologies inside their access points. And they were actually talking about the fact that the access point keeps becoming more and more powerful because of all of these
physically bigger
as well. So they're talking about integrating technologies like Zigbee and other
potentially like LoRaWAN or
other like 2.4 or other frequency IoT technologies, and they also have like a USB port on which you can connect external gateways to support I forgot how they called it, but the IoT flavor of the week. I think they called it.
That's what they called it. Yeah, the newest IoT trend.
Yeah. So that was interesting, and on top of this, they had demos. So they had Andrew, I think his name was, from the UK. He was in his little lab, and he had a whole bunch of devices, and he would just play with them to show us, how they were able to actually integrate the IoT and our typical LAN together. So when a sensor gets detected, then it can send the information. Somehow they can decode the protocol and then convert that into a message that they can understand and send back to their management platform.
Yeah, they definitely have some sort of ecosystem or app marketplace, because you could simply go, if you have Samsung Smart Things, you're able to go into there, download the Samsung Smart Things integration, and be able to start using your devices with the IoT radios built in. And that's what we saw in the demo, was where you press a button or a sensor opens and it triggers another action from something like a camera to start recording what happened. And all of that was in the IoT dashboard with all these different statistics. It was really nice to see how an enterprise could deal with this, right? Because in enterprise you have all these disparate systems. You have an island for lights, you have an island for HVAC, you have an island for the automatic blinds. Like, a lot of this stuff isn't
and you have together. The Wi-Fi network,
and then you have a Wi-Fi network. It's all very separate, but Ruckus has a solution where it's all on the access point, and you'd be able to provide all those services without buying so much extra components that can't talk to each other.
Yeah, you don't need to deploy like an overlay network to hear your Zigbee or your Z-Wave or your BLE. Everything is coming from the access point, which makes it appealing for enterprises that are starting to roll out IoT devices across their offices or their space. It makes it very appealing to just have one infrastructure handling all of these wireless technologies, I guess. And
so, speaking of benefiting the organization, they even cater to management level with their Ruckus Analytics. And so they gave an example of maybe a large food brand that has multiple franchises, and they're able to gather a lot of analytics of the Wi-Fi network, how it's performing, maybe how it's doing for point of sale systems, and be able to make business decisions based off of these reports and data that they show.
And their analytics is actually really good. I really liked some of the diagrams they had. Even if they're presenting you very detailed technical information, they just present it as a nice diagram. So it's you don't get lost in all of the interface. You know exactly what's happening. I remember they were showing the missing VLAN one, so you can see it was very clear. These VLANs are here in green, and then this one is missing in red, and it was super clear to see the information. And sometimes they do like the packet exchange. I think we showed that on the podcast already.
That's great for the technical audience, where maybe you're not a wireless engineer, you're not a CWNE, but maybe you're in the help desk or service desk, and you need to understand what's happening to a device that's having trouble. Ruckus is able to tell you graphically where the exchange is failing. It's DHCP, that's where the problem is, and then create some recommendations and why you should do that. Why you should make the change.
So that was pretty nice, and they had a whole bunch of people coming, which was nice as well for us, so we could interact with them. So Ruckus was really nice. If you want to see the entire video, the entire demos, you can head over to YouTube, search for the Tech Field Day YouTube channel, and they should have a Mobility Field Day playlist for you guys to just watch all of the recordings.
All right, thanks guys.
Thank you.